students, people in general, if they want something, you just gotta go for it. Ask whoever you gotta ask, but just let people know what you want, and people 99% of times will help you get there. Hi, and welcome to this month's episode of Engineering Greatness, an original podcast series produced by the American Concrete Institute. I'm Hector. I'm a field engineer with Alan Myers here in Williamsburg, Virginia. With me today is host Ivan.
Josephine Cabrera and Walter P. Moore.
To the podcast, let's start talking about what inspired you to do civil engineering.
Yeah, so that's a good question. I think I first picked up interest in civil engineering in 8th grade when a STEM magnet from a high school came to visit our middle school. They spoke about engineering, all the types of engineering, mechanical engineering, civil engineering, but civil engineering really caught my eye because it kind of spoke about the built environment. They spoke about bridges, buildings, and I kind of liked that thought that I could help be part of something and be part of a project that has a lasting effect, not only for me, but for, the surrounding community as well. And what about you, Hector?
So originally, I wanted to be a pilot, but back in high school, I got involved in the physics team of my school, and turned out I was pretty decent at high school level physics. Not an expert though, but yeah, I got involved in that. Started going to a lot of competitions, and started looking more into the side of engineering. But still, I was not certain of which way I wanted to go. All I knew is it was not anything related to software or computing engineer. So I started looking for different careers where you do math and numbers. And doing my research, just civil engineering came up. I don't come from a civil engineering family. I do have a couple uncles that used to work in this industry. So I think it was all a combination of, you know, finding that sweet spot where the I could do numbers and math, and then also, as you said, have an impact in my community.
Hmm, interesting.
Yep,
And a question for you. How did you get introduced to ACI?
pretty good one. So around my third semester, when I, was finishing those basic classes like calculus, math, um, I started taking more courses related to my career, and I remember taking materials, construction materials, and my professor, she was the um, advisor for my school's ACI chapter back then. So she would promote the chapter to all of her students, and that way she would say it's a pretty good way to start getting involved with the faculty, with the what a civil engineering does on a day-to-day basis. So I joined. It was also a way of making friends back then, and got involved right on from my third semester. Started as a member, participated in a couple competitions, um, like the egg protection device that was really fun back then, and eventually got involved as part of the um, leadership of the chapter as a director of international relations, where basically what I would do is look for um, this was all back in Ecuador. So I would look for experts on certain concrete topics and have them present on what they do on a daily basis to our students back at my school in Ecuador. Um, so it was a lot of fun getting involved as a member, spending a couple of years, doing research, participating in competitions and eventually graduating as part of the leadership of the chapter and um, having making an impact in the chapter. I mean, I got a lot from it, so I had to give back in a way. What about you? When did you first learn about ACI?
Yeah, I was gonna say my journey parallels yours like almost identically. I first learned about ACI through my mechanics materials professor at UCF. At that time, the ACI UCF student chapter was dormant for maybe 2 years because he had gone on sabbatical, and he was trying to restart the student chapter. So then one day during class, he hands out a sign-up flyer to everybody in class for anyone interested in the club. And just like your professor, he mentioned that it'd be a great way to get involved with the faculty and also get more exposure towards the industry as well. So that's how I first got introduced to it. I decided to just sign up for it, went to the first general body meeting for the chapter, and at that point there weren't any officers. So we had an impromptu officer election there, and I just volunteered to be secretary for the student chapter. I just saw it as like a good little opportunity for, develop my leadership skills as well as, maybe my talking skills. And as you mentioned, also to make some good friends. So I started off as a secretary, and then shortly after, I became president of the student chapter. And I also really tried to kind of really bring interest into the student chapter. Um, and just like you said, I felt like I had to kind of give back to ACI, um, because I felt that's had like just a huge impact on my entire professional trajectory, which is why I've kind of decided to stay active in it at the national level and also at the local professional chapter level.
So, in that note, when did you first attend an ACI convention?
When did I first attend an ACI convention?
And what was your experience?
Yeah, so my very, very first one was a couple years ago. I believe it was 2021 or 2022 when the ACI convention was here in Orlando, Florida. At that point in time, I was still president of the UCF student chapter. So I kind of helped organize the young professionals social there, as well as kind of gave a presentation on student chapters. But I didn't really get to stick around past that because I was working part-time. So I just only did that. So I really consider my first official real convention attendance was this last one in Maryland, Baltimore. I really enjoyed that experience. I attended multiple committee sessions, multiple little quick sessions and long sessions about technical topics. I found all of it really interesting and pretty cool. Really enjoyed the experience. I felt like I learned a good bit. And after attending these committee sessions, I can definitely see myself doing that long term. So I'm really hoping to continue attending future ACI conventions, and I'm definitely looking forward to this upcoming one in Chicago. And you?
So my first one was funny. You mentioned also Baltimore. Last fall, I was very fortunate to be selected as a general professional pre-convention registration program by the Women in ACI committee. Um, so, as you mentioned, leaving that experience for the first time was really cool. I got to attend a lot of interesting sessions and topics I've been involved with, and meet a lot of great people. And I also got the opportunity to start as a voting member for Young Professionals Committee. And ever since then, I've been involved with that. So it was good to finally have the opportunity to attend one because when I was part of the ACI chapter back in Ecuador, we would be part of the competitions, but not all of us could make it. Like the chapter would only have resources to send one student, two students at the most, to present and to compete at the different contests that ACI was having that specific convention. So finally having the opportunity to be there in person Even though I was not with my fellow students, it was still a nice experience. It was nice to see other students from Ecuador in different countries also coming together in Baltimore and competing, and just the atmosphere you feel there. A lot of young people and seasoned folks as well, all participating with each other. Just it's nice to see that camaraderie uh, in the industry.
Yeah, I always thought that was pretty cool seeing how chapters outside of the US always come to these conventions. It's really interesting and pretty nifty to see how widespread ACI really is and the reach it has. I had another question. So, what was your college experience like? Did you join any student clubs? How did those experience enhance your academic development?
So the first one I joined was ACI, but shortly after that, I started getting involved with different faculty members back at my school and different opportunities there where I also learned about the Society of Civil Engineers. There's also a chapter back in my school in Ecuador, so I joined that one. And those are the two big ones. We have all smaller chapters and different branches of the civil engineering profession, but those were the ones I stayed most consistent with. And that was a big part of my college experience. I also got the chance to be a vice president for the Student Association of Civil Engineers at my department. So as you said earlier, that was a good opportunity for me to develop those soft skills, the leadership part of what you of the industry, which eventually you look back and see that's where I developed this skill, or that's where I learned how to do this. That's where I prepared myself to go out and speak to people without being afraid of doing so. So reflecting on those opportunities, now that I'm here, you know, I'm grateful with my previous version that went out there and just said yes to different opportunities that were offered and got involved and started knowing people and professors because everything eventually paid off. Um, I do want to say though that it's studying in Ecuador, it's kind of different from here, from my perspective,
Hmm.
because when you take civil engineering, you don't get to specialize in a certain branch of it. You don't get to take more classes of structural or geotech. You kind of take a little bit of everything. So, you have your preference, what you like, what you don't like, but you still got to go through it all. So, balancing that at some point was kind of tough, balancing all the classes as well as the extracurricular activities, personal life. But I I want to say I had a pretty decent experience back in college. What about yourself?
No, yeah, that's pretty understandable, especially what you're saying with the juggling of extracurricular and school to-dos. I can relate to that. My college experience was pretty good, I'd say. In terms of the student clubs, I was a part of ASCE at UCF for a little while, but the only one I really stuck with was ACI. And I would say that sticking with ACI at UCF definitely enhanced my time at UCF. As you mentioned before, and as I mentioned before, it definitely helped make some very good friends. I think some of my closest friends at UCF actually made through ACI, UCF. Apart from that, it also gave me opportunities to, build relationships with faculty, particularly with the faculty advisor of the ACI UCF student chapter. Just by being active in ACI, I also kind of got an opportunity to work with him in his research and kind of do my own undergraduate research project there too. So that was very interesting. I don't think I would have gotten that opportunity had I not kind of maintained uh, being active in ACI UCF. Apart from that, as you mentioned, it's also a great way to network. Um, just like you looked for professionals in certain concrete areas to invite as guest speakers. I also did that when I was president, when I was secretary. I'd reach out to, design engineers or those that work at concrete plants, invited them and, got to know them. And I feel I also kind of, in a way, was able to get the position where I'm at right now at Walter People are also due to just being at ACI UCF because I kind of made that connection back then. So just like you, I'm also thankful that I did go that route. And as you said, yeah, at some points it was also kind of a little hard to juggle the extracurriculars and schoolwork and, just your social life as well. But to be honest, I don't think I'd do anything different. I think it was a great experience overall.
Yeah, 100%. And on that note, after college, did you go to grad school? How was your first professional experience?
Yeah, so after college, I immediately went to grad school. Um, yeah, so I didn't start immediately. So I graduated in spring. Wasn't able to start in summer because UCF, I continued my graduate school at UCF and they didn't offer any summer classes. So I started the following fall. Um, I think that was also very beneficial too, continuing with my grad school experience. I didn't do any research. While in grad school, I did more of a course-based master's. I just took a bunch of courses as I felt that would be more beneficial since I was going towards the design side. As for professional experiences, I did have an internship at another design firm in my undergrad all the way up until my first year of my master's degree, at which point I decided to switch to where I am now and kept on working part-time while also doing school part-time all the way up until my graduation. And from then on, I just was able to segue into full-time work at the current firm that I'm at. You?
So pretty similar experience here. I did like what people call an accelerated master's. It was not technically that, but in a way it worked out like it, where I, and just like you, I took a similar approach doing a mostly um, course only masters, but I did do a little bit of research while at it. It was not a thesis, but more like a project and report on modeling disaster habitation using system dynamics. So nothing I've ever done before. So that was very interesting to have the opportunity to work on that and present it at different conferences and symposiums back at Virginia Tech. Before that, while I was a student in Ecuador, I also got the opportunity to work full time for a design firm, and I was mostly doing VIM modeling in Revit. But I also got the opportunity to do a little bit of structural design, mostly beams, nothing too crazy. So I was still a student, last year student, but still a student. But that's when I got this spark in me that I I learned I didn't want to do structural engineering for the rest of my life. I mean, I had fun doing it. I liked it, but when you're are at an entry level position, you get to see uh, how things are managed, how stuff move around, and I felt like there was a need or a way to improve how to manage entry level people as well as the work we do, how we present it, or our schedules. So that's when I got into management, specifically construction management, and that is the reason why I decided to do my master's in construction engineering and management instead of structural engineering. But it was a tough race until the end. But I think having that experience really helped me decide which way I wanted to go. And today, working in the construction industry, I wouldn't do anything differently. I like what I do, and I could see myself doing this um, for my whole life.
Mm. Yeah, I was gonna say that's pretty interesting because I know you and me kind of have mirrored tracks. I also kind of started off as a interning off at a construction company, liked it the first go round, went back for a second internship and noticed that that wasn't really for me and that I was more so interested on the design side of things. So interesting how we kind of parallel each other there, which kind of leads into another question I had here. What are some challenges that you faced, and what advice would you have for other young professionals?
Great question. And I think I still face a lot of them, but looking back, first thing I would say is I'm a person that tends to say yes to everything, but that requires people asking. I mean,
Mm,
if I get an answer yes, that an opportunity needs to be presented to me, and that is not always the case. Sometimes you gotta go out and look for that opportunity. So one thing I wish I've done better is just being more adventurous in a way, just going out there and asking. Like you already have a no for an answer if you don't ask, so you might as well just go and ask and see, look for those opportunities for yourself. I sincerely think that students, people in general, if they want something, they just gotta go for it. Ask whoever you gotta ask, but just let people know what you want, and people 99% of times will help you get there as long as you're genuine and show good interest. What about you?
that's some really good advice. Some really good advice there. I was gonna say just like you, yeah, I also still have facing challenges and still learning day to day to how to address them best. I would say some of the challenges I face right now is just being able to, adequately prioritize items as needed and also being able to mm, I guess just handle multiple things at once, like being able to kind of multitask at any given instance. But some advice that I would kind of give to young professionals similar to you um, is that, yeah, it kind of mirrors what you were saying in that I recommend that, they kind of go a little bit outside of their comfort zone when they're trying to, achieve or want something, be active in professional organizations, be it a student chapter or like a national chapter, you know, volunteer to take on those positions of leadership because, although you may be, maybe a little timid or shy or not too sure about going for those positions definitely help out a lot. Um, Definitely build up your network. And I think that would be kind of the advice I would have.
That's great advice. Do you see yourself moving forward? Like, what would you like to do next?
That's a good question. That is a good question. In terms of professional career, I definitely hope to, you know, develop myself as a structural engineer, become seasoned and well-rounded, get my licensure, um, and become confident in my own design decisions. In terms of ACI, I definitely, in the future, hope to become even more active in the committees. Hopefully, become a active voting member in a handful of committees. I already have a couple committees that I'm interested in, applied to a few as an associate member. So I'm hoping to stay as an associate member for a couple of years, keep on showing that interest, keep on volunteering to assist, and eventually hopefully land a voting member position within those committees. And you,
For my professional career, just at you, I would like to gather more experience, finish the project I'm currently working on, which still got 2 more years to go. So there's a lot to learn there. Finish this project, move on to the next one, continue building my skills, technical and not technical ones. and eventually be able to manage my own project, whether as a construction project manager, whatever that may be when the time comes. And as for ACI involvement, I 100% agree with you. Currently, I'm just part of one committee, but when going through the list of committees back at convention, there were many that I would like to be more involved with. So I'm definitely shooting for that. Staying involved, attending more conventions. My first one was such a great experience. Something I definitely want to do next, and continue to know great people that are part of ACI. Continue to build my network around this organization, and eventually maybe becoming an officer for one of these committees.
Hmm,
I was, you know,
awesome. And I had another question. What's been your experience with the committee work, the committee that you've been on?
so for S806, the Drum Professionals Committee I'm part of, it's mostly been helping out with whatever task they may have, reaching out to professionals for the upcoming convention, just having meetings with the committee chair, um, exchanging opinions on different topics or different rulings we might want to apply for the committee. Just weighing in, having an opinion. It's nice to know and see that there are all these committees that are doing work just to improve the experiences of young professionals, students, and having a vote on that, having a word on that, helping shape that experience for the ones that will come next. It's nice to stay involved. It's all a way of giving back. What about you?
No, yeah, I'm kind of new to the committee work. I'm also in the same committee you mentioned, S806. I haven't had much of a chance to really be too active on it. I definitely have helped with a handful of requests here and there, but I think it is pretty cool, as you mentioned, to have this committee kind of that aims to improve, younger professionals' experience at conventions and also increase their involvement in the conventions. That said, I have really enjoyed helping with the committee for what I've done so far. Not a lot, but it still feels like I'm helping something and contributing towards something. Um, but still, I'm definitely hoping and looking forward to joining other committees just so I can kind of increase the impact or the help that I'm able to provide to ACI as a whole.
Yeah, that's really cool having that opportunity to provide value in different spaces. So we were just talking about ACI committees, on involvement with ACI. Do you have any mentors from the mentor program?
Yeah, I do. And a shout out to Jared Brewy. He was my mentor. Uh, yeah, I signed up for the ACI mentor program and I wasn't too sure what to expect when I first signed up, but I definitely feel that's like probably one of the best or better mentor experiences that I've had and was definitely worth the while. I'm really glad I applied. Um, Being able to have a mentor through ACI kind of gave me a good sneak peek of what to expect at the convention. So once I got there, I wasn't kind of like unsure of where to go, what to do, because my mentor had kind of given me a good walkthrough of what to expect, not only of the convention, but of also of committees. Kind of gave me a quick rundown of how committees run, like how they operate each meeting. So that was like very, very good to have because I kind of went to the convention and like I said, I just didn't feel lost at all. I was like, oh, yeah, I've heard about this and I've seen this before. So that was pretty good. And then not only that, my mentor also gave me like a bunch of valuable advice, both from a professional aspect and also from an ACI aspect. He definitely gave me some pointers as for what to do if I'm wanting to join a committee and what committee work is really made of. And that definitely helped inform my decision to, pursue that committee work. I guess apart from that, he also provided some great professional advice um, for my career, and also just became another great person to have to my network.
It's fantastic. So, at what point would you recommend students signing up for this program?
Oh yeah, I definitely recommend, as soon as you can. I see that's at the 30-minute mark. Are we?
Oh, no, you're good. Keep on going, please. I didn't mean to interrupt. So I'm just
Oh,
trying to
my
give
bad.
you a little marker, but please feel free to continue going. There's no rush.
Awesome. No, yeah, I would definitely recommend students or even young professionals reaching out. Actually, I think the mentor program is intended just for young professionals. Um, but even then, I recommend just reaching out, applying it as soon as you can. There's definitely value and benefit. If you're new or just starting off your career, it's a perfect place or perfect point in time to apply because your mentor would have had, years of industry experience. And it's not only just for one specific industry. There was mentors for, the materials side of concrete, the design side of concrete, the forensic engineering side of concrete, even the research aspect of concrete. So really, it's probably best applied, as soon as you can once you're starting off your career, because it'll definitely be valuable, definitely give you some good insights. And if you're interested in learning more about ACI, it's definitely a great way to learn more about ACI and also get more involved with ACI.
So, there's your advice for any young professionals listening. Go and find a mentor as soon as you can. It will definitely set you up for success.
So thanks again for joining us, and thanks to everyone for listening to this month's episode of Engineering Greatness. Join us each month as ACI brings together pairs of young professionals in the concrete industry to engage in intimate conversations about their life and work. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And for more information on the American Concrete Institute, visit us online at concrete.org. We'll see you next time.